Islam. Hope everybody's well. It's February 5th, 2018. And, you know, usually I haven't been making, because I'm working on so many other things. But this this particular video is going to be short and sweet because it's direct to somebody. I don't know if you guys ever heard of a rapper wants to call himself. His name is My Son. He calls himself My Son the General, and known about it for years from the Source days. I think he prides himself to be an activist, like a black power activist type of thing. So, don't really follow him because of that, but now and then I see his interviews and it's all his interviews are based on emotionalism and sensationalism. But in particular, the other day, me and him were talking on social media because of this Troy Ave situation, and this led to us him talking about having unity and within the black community and so on and so forth. I screenshot some of the stuff he said to me because, I remember there was a time he took pictures with, I think it was Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson, which I thought was funny, because if you know anything about the civil rights movement or black power, like those are not leaders. But again, if you're going to be under that umbrella, knowing the difference between black people who have no right, who are considered 3/5 of the human being within the Constitution. This is not my opinion, okay? That's one thing we got to remember. Your opinion is your opinion. You're entitled to that, but you're not, I repeat, you're not entitled to your own fact, my son, or should I say my youth. Because the way you're comprehending what I'm telling you, like Prodigy, remember Prodigy, R.I.P. Prodigy of Mobb Deep, he said, slow learners will understand in due time. I don't think you're a slow learner. I think you're agent provocateur. You know what that means? You're a double agent. Because if information is being presented to you and you pride yourself as being an activist and you're young enough, and I'm hoping your pineal gland is decalcified enough that it's registering. I got the information and I ran with it. Either you just want to be in the spotlight and just make noise, or you really want to affect change. Because this is what it's come down to. Now, you want to say, me, basically, because I laughed at the fact that he looks at what's this guy's name? Jesse Jackson, and Al Sharpton, Dirty Sharpton, as heroes, as honorable men. And I quote, this is what he said about them. So you have the right to talk about men who've done more for blacks than anyone you know, who've been locked up for our rights nearly 100 times combined, willing to lose their life and freedom for something. You don't get to do that because you're doing something. You judge saying, I'm judging from my computer where I'm comfortable while you guys make sacrifices, according to him. Saying, he's telling me I should just stay home, have a job, and leave the streets and civil rights to them, because it ain't for everybody. It takes a level of honor to be where they are. It takes a level of honor, eh? It also takes an ounce of common sense to know you're in error. Do you know anything about law? Again, you're all about sensationalism, emotionalism. Bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, put it out there. You're a fraud. You are a fraud. You cannot sit down and hold a debate with anybody anymore, including myself. Please let me know, articulate your position. You talk about unity. After you made that comment, I showed you a video of me going into the police station, you know, mercenary station, highwayman station, addressing somebody who, a peace officer who violated my rights. I didn't get a petition going. I didn't start a riot. I didn't protest. I just got to work with my paperwork. No emotions involved. But if it was the black guy, I'll just be, again, just crying, making noise, or better yet, just praying that somebody come from the sky to help me. Right? That's what you guys want. Civil rights and church go hand in hand. No? So I showed you that video, and I don't think you understand the premises of this movement, of this whole declaring a nationality. Because according to you, because of the video I showed you, in the video I showed you, you stated, did I get my money back on January 9th? Because this is Christian concert, missionary Christian concert from a police station out here. Took the car and I had to pay fiat to get it back after a week. So he's saying, where did you get your money back? Even though he never showed up to court? See, it's not about the money, bro. I don't think you understand what it is to have a peace of mind. See, when you get a taste of a peace of mind, there's nothing you would do to give it up. If I have to pay money for de facto Regina, de facto meaning the quote unquote government that you follow, not the de jure government, which is the people. Talk about corporation. The ones that you follow, it's not about money for us. It's about getting a peace of mind. For the black guy, it's about money, because that's where he's like tomorrow's not promised for the black guy. So he has to worry about money. He or she has to worry about money. So do you understand? Since that video came out, I get no sort of harassment. Like the way I'm dealt with is different. It's vastly different from your average person or quote unquote black guy. Because I'm not black. I'm indigenous. Now, moving forward, it's funny, like I said, you are into sensationalism and emotionalism, because in one of your comments, you said, talking about the facto bodyguards, which are cops or mercenaries, you said they are the enemy of man in the street, profiting off crime. No. The enemy, Michael Jackson told you who the enemy is. It's the man in the mirror. Perspective is God. Your perspective is going to have you keep getting abused, locked up, killed, get your woman raped, your children molested, all kind of stuff happening to you because of the status you want to claim as a black person. So, like, if you're gonna run around claiming this fraud as a black person, knowing that in the Constitution you're considered 3/5 of the human being if you're gonna claim black. The Dred Scott case made it clear: if you're gonna claim black, that means you're a slave. What enemy are you talking about? You are the enemy. Yes, there's a few bad apples within the police divisions and precincts, but for the most part, I think I could speak just from my experience and being incarcerated. Like just like when we're locked up, majority of the CEOs are cool. You have a few of them that are pieces of shit. Same thing with the cops out here. Some of them have this gang mentality. You know what I mean? So it's not so much about the system per se, because we need security. We need public servants doing what they do. We need that. We just need to weed out the people who are there to make profit, like you said, who are there to just abuse and take advantage, irregardless of whatever your status is. But the ones that honor your status, we want those ones there. And there are. I've met peace officers. You might not have met them as a black guy. I've met peace officers, even as a black guy. When I was a black guy, I've met peace officers, CEOs who were cool. Like, I know that. Because at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We're having a spiritual experience, not a human being experience. You feel what I'm saying? So, on a spiritual level, regardless of their job or the uniform they have on, there are good ones there. But where things get muddy or sullied is when you go around claiming a status that's a fraud. And there's no statute or limitation of fraud. So anybody that claims to be black, just look in North America, look at the condition of your black people. 2018, all the information is still everywhere. Like, you can't get right. Anyways, so just to address that, police is not the enemy. Man is the enemy. We are. It's we the people. It ain't the system that's the enemy. It's we the people that's given the power to this to certain individuals. You know what I mean? Like, now, this is my favorite part. After I made a little 1-minute video on Instagram, you know what I mean? Like, you guys can go check out my son on Instagram. Like, I'm not hating. You can check, follow him, see what, like, you be the judge for yourself. My son, General, that's what he calls himself on Instagram. And you can check out my Instagram page, Lanray Obey, LANREBEY. And you can see the video, the 1-minute video where I talked about the Dred Scott case and talked about Noble Drew Ali, like you don't know about these things, and how the civil rights movement was deemed unconstitutional before it even happened. Yo, this guy sent me a message. I couldn't believe it. Let me start. I'm well aware of birthrights and Dred Scott and our true nationality, etc. What? Simba, did you hear what this guy said? Are you serious right now? That's my cat talking to. You serious? You know? So what are you running? You're a fraud, my youth. You're a fraud. You don't speak for no guy. You speak for yourself and the black people that want to follow you. Never man Troy Ave, yo. Worry about yourself, fam. I have oodles of case laws that have been enacted because of me being active as a Moor. Send me your email, send your transcripts. Now fill up your email with videos of my name is my name. Check it out. I have videos documented on YouTube, 1206 Studio, of me going to court. And every time I go to court, I made a video and told you what happened. My name is my name. There's 7 parts to it. Check it out. And you know what? He stated that I need to stay home and just worry about the civil rights movement. Peter, you're right. I must stay on my computer and keep studying, keep editing my videos. All right, and keep enjoying my peace of mind that I've gained as a Moorish American. Now you, on the other hand, can go and protest, riot, and do all those things. Get shot in your face, and I'm not gonna care. Why? Because so till next time, my youth. Peace. Islam.
Charged and ever could compare. Let's make it clear. From day one till day done, I'm here. I never fear. You never ever could compare. Let's make it clear. Been running this from year to year.
Interesting. Very interesting. Black History Month correction going on. Canaanland Moors. Any black stuff, sorry. We're not buying it. We're not buying it. Sorry. That's just what it is. We're just not buying it because we know better. We know way better. Just gonna go to pardon the interjection. See what they just uploaded.
I'm serious. And then we make excuses for them. They don't understand. And yes, the hell they do. We keep making excuses for people because they're Asiatic and Africans. As out seers, COINTELPRO operatives because from them. And because they be out there in the venue. You know and I know. What, 94, 95, 93? Me and Hannibal went up there and nationalized. I'm saying to you, I don't knock them. Let them do what they do. You know what I mean? I don't even battle with them. I just keep it moving and keep taking it to the people. And knowing that as the people get this information, they themselves, some of them same people that's been playing them and dragging, when this stuff could have been solved, we're going to be hanging from these damn trees, including a lot of them reverends. You understand what I'm saying to you? Now, when you, to keep your, every once in a while, just pull up the synopsis of COINTELPRO operations to remind yourself to stop being naive. Stop making excuses for these Negro leaders. Because they're not, it's almost like freaky gym teacher that keeps caressing your little girl's buns at the gym class and you're saying he doesn't understand what he's doing. When no, I'm just saying this is what we keep doing rather than taking him and changing or rearranging his head. Yeah. Like he's Asiatic. Oh, well, maybe he didn't really mean it because he ain't European or something. I mean, like, stop making excuses for these people.
We win, boys. We won.
Young sluts can't fuck with the Cujo. Our sister, our friend, professional, qualified attorney is only here to paint a picture of how we are viewed within the judicial system. Within the judicial system.
But I must say it again, I'm innocent. With my life savings to get me railroaded. But I must say it again, with my life savings, I paid a lawyer to get me railroaded. But I must say it again, I'm innocent. With my life savings, I paid a lawyer to get me railroaded. And let me stop right there. Plenty of us done that. That's plenty of us has trusted in a lawyer or an attorney and thought that they would be for us in the middle of our downfall or some type of error we have made or some type of way we've been set up or an accident or just perfectly being railroaded. Okay, because I've done it. I've done it years ago. I haven't hired an attorney since, but I've done it years ago. Everything I've that's come my way since maybe 2011, I've beaten. Y'all go get 9 charges dismissed without an attorney. I ain't bullshit. Y'all bullshit. I ain't afraid. I'm talking about y'all banging on the cracker. Y'all ain't banging on shit. Facts.
People are afraid to pursue their most important dreams because they feel that they don't deserve them or that they'll be unable to achieve them. We, their hearts, become just thinking of loved ones who go away forever, or of moments that could have been good but weren't, or of treasures that might have been found but were forever hidden in the sand.
30 more say the prophet's name won't teach the same universal lessons, keep you slave chains on your brain. Moorish presidents when that's the prophet. If he was around, most grand chiefs' heads he'll off it. Guilty by association, off your head too for riding with dirty Moors that made a mockery of Drew Ali. Dirty Moors from Canaanland to DL. Keep thinking that they forget more, giving lessons in peace like third eye muzzle and eyes and truth face. Ego Moors made two that walks like a fruit.
When due to the European and on financial 1, 3, and 9, basically financial statement, and they ran them to the wall because they perfect the vouchers and then them for their arresting. And this is why whenever you ask people that has any of these UCCs to sell, 5 people that perfected them. Now, and to show marketing, show some evidence of successes, because it's still certificates, marriage certificates, original manufacturer titles and origins. For these things, saying the process is their principles. We're saying that they're now the Pope's telling you
whose principal you see names or MSTA members or more Americans. 300 gangsters in the bill. They don't want these problems. 300 gangsters in the building. Stop, my man. I ain't naming no name. 300 gangsters in the. They don't want these problems. 90 plus years running a fraud, that's why you know every prophet and Ali but not Drew. Keeping you away, they have a deep dirt, causing confusion.
No problem said, you know, before I brought you your name and your nationality and the knowledge of your birthright, nobody was talking to you. Nobody was telling you anything. Everybody was living off your virtues. And now that he brought your national birthright back, you found an institution by which that information can be dispensed. I want you to tell me what Islam. He said, before, don't let them tell you anything now.
90 plus years running a fraud, that's why you know every prophet and Ali but not Drew. Keeping you away, they have a deep, dirty Moor crew, causing confusion. This dirty Moor crew will tell you partial to have chains on your brain when there should be parcel, a free national name. Drew Ali got revenge by Moors eyes wide open, not Morisco world eyes wide open. F you guys. All of you. Taharka Bey, F you. Liar. Goddamn liar. So here's the charter for the Moorish Science Temple of America, full of science. Right? You look right here. This is the seal that Taharka showed on his show, saying that we sell these seals for $30. Taharka, make sure you bring forward people who we sold this seal. Just make sure you bring the people forward. It's for the people on the other one. Make sure, Taharka, I know you watch our stuff. Make sure you bring forward the people who we sold this seal to for $30. Make sure. Because if you don't prove your claim, you're a fucking liar. And you can go fuck yourself. 90 plus years running a fraud, that's why you know every prophet and Ali but not Drew. Keeping you away, they have a deep, dirty Moor crew, causing confusion. This dirty Moor crew will tell you partial to have chains on your brain when there should be parcel, a free national name. Drew Ali got revenge by Moors eyes wide open, not more world eyes wide open. For her to make those lips clap, using Frank, Gary, Brother Larry, journalist traps.
A mighty soldier, he go by the name of Taharka Bey. This brother right here, what I love about my brother Taharka is that he don't just roll over like some of the Moors we know. You know, we bang on them and they just roll over and say, you know, I ain't gonna deal with that. Taharka Bey, he bangs back.
Drew Ali got revenge by Moors eyes wide open, not Morisco world eyes wide open. For her to make those lips clap, using Frank, Gary, Brother Larry, journalist traps. Homoerotic, stray cat Moors dissing the mothers, putting blame on active Moors for current gains and others.
And it all appears legitimate on the surface, doesn't it? Until you study and find out that this is a social engineering mind control game, and they've been part of it. And see why they're upset with us, and why the Southern Christian Poverty Law Firm sicked these shills on us.
Yeah, I guess if we take three steps back, look, they're a corrupt group that exists to raise a lot of money from mostly well-meaning but gullible donors. I get it. But what I'm shocked by is how many media organizations take them seriously, pretend that they're legitimate. Did you lodge a complaint with them?
Well, first of all, anyone that criticizes them publicly run the risk of being labeled as a hater or being placed on hate watch or being mentioned in one of their articles. And so to get branded by them, all you have to do is criticize them. In fact, you yourself is at risk of being placed on hate watch.
Oh, I'm sure that's true. I wouldn't go there. But to call an African-American woman a white supremacist, I'm sorry to laugh, it's horrible, but it's also so ludicrous that why would anyone
for white supremacy?
Why would anyone take them seriously?
I don't know. I mean, they have a lot of influence at universities, and the name, the Southern Poverty Law Center, it conjures up an image of this organization to eradicate poverty that's working on behalf of the downtrodden. Totally false. They do nothing really for the poor. And so they have been able to amass, millions of dollars with that image. And what they do now is really pursue an ideological leftist agenda, and they punish anyone who criticizes them.
I've posted up in there, listed from the Southern Poverty Law Firm. Let's see what the law firm, since these people are getting the advice about the law, let's see what the law firm has to say.
And why the Southern Christian Poverty Law Firm sicked these shills on us that's located here in Philadelphia. And trying to say that we set that girl up to get her killed and all that kind of stuff. And the Pope owns all of the corporate entities. And then they try to make her look like she was out to lunch, but they know our people don't know this. And so she was suing them, so they put a hit on her.
Drew Ali got revenge by Moore's eyes wide open. Not Morisco world eyes wide open. Twaherka make those lips clap. Using Frank, Gary, Brother Larry, journalist traps. Homoerotic, stray cat Moors dissing the mothers. Putting blame on active Moors for current gains and others. Fake profits, heads on the coin. And pictures next to the noble. Today the treasury balance is zero, the total.
300 gangsters in the building. They don't want these problems. 300 gangsters in the building. Shout out to my man. It ain't named.
And sovereign citizen has nothing to do with sovereignty. He even said that it's an oxymoron. And you can't be a sovereign citizen at the same time. Why are they still talking? These are dirty Moors. We're telling you, we're showing you, we're proving to you that they're dirty. If you want to follow them, that's on you. But do not ever think in your free mind that these people are going to talk crazy and we're not going to say something about it.
Study, when you finish, study yourself. Dirty Moors, judge your attire and judge your bookshelf. Study, when you finish, study the law. When you study no trance by Moorish hymn composers. Study, when you finish, study the higher. Dirty Moors cook out that smell from Oscar Mayer.
Now this lamb shoulder is called a Moorish lamb shoulder. As in really tasty and succulent, but Moorish as in the flavors that are going into this. You can see I've got loads of different spices here, and Moorish food is a combination of North African food, a little bit of Italian food. It's the combination of the Mediterranean and North African influence there.
Study, when you finish, study yourself. Dirty Moors, judge your attire and judge your bookshelf. Study, when you finish, study no trance by Moorish hymn composers. Study, when you finish, study the higher. Dirty Moors cook out that smell from Oscar Mayer. Study, when you finish, it's never finished. Dirty Moors selling status correction clinics. 500 per class pass. I'd rather watch Taj.
Excellent literature under the name of
and how faculty and student Moorish heritage don't endanger your life with.
I'm not offended about any stuff. I'm fixed on it. You know what I mean? Because I ain't in it for ego. I'm in it for a whole different game and back. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the next generation. I ain't even, they can't do. I can't be bored.
Oh yeah, and in my Supreme L voice.
To the hunter, pig pit,
And conscious means that you're conscious of what's going on in this world. You're fully aware and awake to what's going on in this world. That's what conscious rap. That means you got unconscious rap. That means you got motherfuckers that's unconscious rapping. That means they sleeping. They still under the spell of Leviathan. They still under the spell of King.
Call me brother man, I'm not the rubber man. Though I keep my Nazis in affairs wrapped with some rubber bands. Burning out the Ku Klux Klan and with the Grand Dairy Queen misters. Just butts of guns I'm giving. Trying to make more sovereign citizens. These minions help kill your prophets, stole your treasury millions. You heard it from your brother man. Now the smother sellout. Sets links in K2 Kush days. Keep me read out. I got the knowledge to make these silly hoes question the pimping directors of music videos. Gay laws and persons with strap-on boots with heels. Too much graphic art faces. Boobs are not real. Since MCM and Troop, they use Timberland boots to get us all caught up in fashion, not the simple man roots. Got our people on dogmatic, not metaphysic. Exoteric, not esoteric is how you missed it. So out of it, you couldn't feel the natural mystic blowing through the air like it didn't give a shit. I hear the dirty Moors dissing, cause I said profanities. A lot of these grand cheeks need to take off the panties. Pull the thong out your crack vest wearing bitch ass nigga. Return to where the prophet found you, Negro ass nigga.
It's time to choose a side. You're either positive or you negative. You're either evil or you good. You understand what I'm saying? Choose a side, nigga. I know what side I'm on.
Jeez. Should be it. Should be no more kicking. Should be no more kicking from that corpse. There should be no more kicking from that corpse. It should be over. But if it's not, it's okay. Because we got to do still waking up our people to their national rights. Because as we know, equality is the order of the day. And that's really all that matters. Everything else is uncivilized. It's not all the Moors. Monday night, Canaanland Moors Correcting Black History. We had to start up with Brother Lonry Obey, putting it on the record, because people like to play around like Moors don't have proof that this works. Now you know this works. That's why we're telling you, you're Moors. But you don't hear what us, you're not listening to what we're saying. You're going to go watch Super Bowl and all that stuff. Okay, fine. We're going to watch Super Bowl. So Eagles won. So let's just see what's going on. Secret Destiny. Manly P. Hall, the free Master Mason who wasn't even part of our lodge. But everybody recognized him as a Mason. But he wasn't part of a lodge, but everybody recognized him as a Mason. People don't get it. And Moors telling people, put it on the record, but you don't want to listen to what Moors are saying. Never, ever. You don't listen to what Moors are saying. Page 125. When the time came to select an appropriate emblem for the Great Seal of the United States of America, several designs were submitted. These are described by Gaylord Hunt in the History of the Seal of the United States, published in Washington, D.C. in 1909. Right? They said published in Washington, D.C. in 1909, like, that was somewhere relative to some founding of the United States or whatever. Most of the designs originally submitted had the phoenix bird on its nest of flames as the central motif. One of the designs, now familiar to us, was finally selected, and Benjamin Franklin was asked for his opinion of the choice. Franklin gave his immediate approval, observing it was very appropriate to select wild turkey as a symbol of new country. The turkey was a bird of admirable quality, hardworking and industrious, and of good moral character, and a fowl also with marked aversion for the color red, at that time unpopular. When explained to Franklin that the bird was intended to represent an eagle, he was really disappointed that the drawing did not look like an eagle to him, and furthermore, an eagle was a bird of prey, with few of the respectable qualities of the wild turkey. It has been said that the designer had drawn a phoenix. Its selection would of course have been appropriate. A fabulous bird called the phoenix is described by early writers such as Clement, Herodotus, and Pliny in size and shape, but with certain differences. The body of the phoenix is covered with glossy purple feathers, and the plumes in its tail are alternately blue and red. The head color and about its neck circle of gold plumage. At the back of its head, the phoenix has a crest of feathers of brilliant color. Only one of the birds was supposed to live at a time, with its home in the distant parts of Arabia, in a nest of frankincense and myrrh. The phoenix, it was said, lives for 500 years, and at its death, its body opens and the newborn phoenix emerges. Because of this symbolism, the phoenix is generally regarded as representing immorality and resurrection. All symbols have their origin in something tangible, and the phoenix is one sign of the secret orders of the ancient world and of the initiate of those orders, for refer to one who had been accepted into the temples as a man twice born or reborn. Wisdom confers a new life, and those who become wise are born again. The phoenix symbol is important in another way, as an emblem among nearly all civilized nations of royalty, power, superiority, and immortality. The phoenix of China is identical in meaning with the phoenix of Egypt, and the phoenix of the Greeks is the same as the thunderbird of the American Indians. So it's time. Even the NFL is telling you Negroes, it's resurrection time to start Negro stuff. Didn't they do the purple stuff for the halftime with the purple and like that? Am I missing something? Somebody chat. I'm pretty sure I heard something about purple stuff and stuff like that. And then this is Prince, quote unquote, singer, whatever like that, right? He's a quote unquote singer and all that. And then eagles, but it's really a phoenix, and then phoenix is purple. Okay. Interesting. So, football people, if you maybe want to learn something, something for you, right? Have fun with that if you're serious. If you're not serious, oh well, don't say didn't tell you. Dr. Edna Gorham Bey and Sultan David Rosser L. Who were the Negroes before slavery? Who were the Negroes before slavery? Oh. These are ones where, Moore just gives you a book. It's one of those ones. December 31st, 1491, New Year's Eve, a decree was made by Queen Isabella to black a Moor of history, stripping them of everything relative to being Moorish, their culture, their customs, and the very language they spoke. The Moorish Holocaust took lives of grown-up Moors and left behind the babies and young children to be raised and taught in the manner acceptable. Therefore, they knew no language, culture, or history of their parents, only what Queen Isabella allowed them to know. It was ordered that the Moors would abandon their own ways and adopt the style of their captors. One of the first things to be destroyed was the hundreds of public baths throughout Spain, as the Moors were forbidden to bathe and required to take on dirt of the captors. The expansive libraries established by the Moors were burned to the ground in an effort to further destroy any history or recollection the Moors might seek to pass on to succeeding generations. When asked by what name these children of the Moors would be called, it is recorded that King Charles I of Spain responded Negro. History shows that this was the beginning of the dehumanizing and wholesale denationalization of the Moors that would last for hundreds and hundreds of years. Now here it is. In 2000, the word Negro, along with all the other terms, Black, colored, African American, is still being used by many unconscious Moors and has kept alive the desire of Queen Elizabeth and Ferdinand long after they have departed this life. As a result of the widespread usage of the term Negro, the illustrious history of the Moors has been deeply buried, thus stunting the growth of this distinctive, once progressive group, generation after succeeding generation. So much so, until when the history of Moors is being demonstrated, no association is made to connect the Negroes, coloreds, Blacks, African Americans to the great conquered Moors who ruled Spain for nearly 800 years. By virtue of the fact that the terms Negro, colored, Black, and African American do not represent a people by nationality and birthright, the very use of such names has caused the long-term degeneration of a people. However, once the connection is made again, and the use of terms such as Negro, colored, Black, and African American is outlawed as socially unacceptable, the royal Moorish legacy will be returned to the disenfranchised, displaced children of the phenomenal, illustrious, conquering Moors. However, once the connection is made and the use of such terms as Negro, colored, Black, and African American is outlawed as socially acceptable, the royal Moorish legacy will be returned to disenfranchised, displaced of the final Moors. Is there more that we need to say? Yes, because Negroes are never going to get it. Moors already got it. We're trying to put our people on. They don't want it. But we're still going to tell you. We're going to hold you down and force you to accept what's going on, playing around. Just stop playing around. Of course, we have to honor Carter G. Woodson and his work to make sure our people have something that they can use to learn about themselves. So, and give our people something for them to know about themselves. The founder of Celebrate, Carter G. Woodson. So we might as well read some of his book. I mean, it's his month and all that. Do they even mention him during? Like you should want to mention the Negro leaders, like what Brother Lonnie was talking about. That's why they changed the name, so you don't have to mention him. Why don't they want to mention him? Let's see why they don't want to mention him. And remember, Moors, as soon as you start reading, Moors are already going to put this together, like it's going to just be put together. On the other hand, are people who don't study, right? They're not going on. And, you know, we already told you already that the boat has left the dock. So don't be looking for the life raft and all that stuff. Either you grab the rope dangling from behind the stuff or swim. Because, sorry, like, you know what I mean? Been telling you to get on the boat. You want to hear what's up, right? Then, you know, do whatever you do. We're just letting you know what your black guys, all your black guys, know what's up. All your black guys, they know what's up. And they told our people what's up. And our people playing like they don't want to. All right. Some time ago, when Congressman Oscar De Priest was distributing by the thousands copies of the Constitution of the United States, certain wiseacres were disposed to make fun of it. What purpose would such an act serve? These critics, however, probably did not know that thousands and thousands of Negro children in this country are not permitted to use school books in which are printed the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution of the United States. How come only Negro books didn't have it in there? I don't think maybe it's because you're calling yourself Negro and you're not a citizen, so why would you need a constitution? You're not a citizen. What do you need to know about stuff in constitutional stuff? For what? You're not a citizen. You're not counted as we the people or the United States. You're just piece of the field. But yeah, that's racist. You know what I mean? We want our own schools or we could have our own books. Still not going to have a constitution in there. Still not going to be a citizen because you're going to be doing all that under Negro. Oscar De Priest, congressman. Remember, if they're saying when Congressman Oscar De Priest, he won because now he's congressman. Because he's congressman, that means he won the election. That Noble Drew Ali told the Moors, go vote for that guy. And what was his orders by Noble Drew Ali? To go enforce the Constitution. Oscar De Priest distributing by thousands copies of the Constitution is because of Noble Drew Ali, not Oscar De Priest. I remember this Carter G. Woodson. You know what I mean? Just check. Check on. Make sure we know that, you know, he went to school and stuff like that, right? He's not just some guy on the street corner with the table selling DVDs, right? Woodson began taking correspondence and summer classes at Berea College in Kentucky. His pursuit for a college degree led him to the University of Chicago, where he earned his bachelor's degree in 1907 and master's in 1908. His thirst for knowledge continued. He became the second African American to earn a PhD from Harvard. In 1912, studied at Sorbonne in Paris, spoke fluent French, studied in the Philippines, Africa, mastered all that the Europeans can teach, but he had a higher calling, founded Association Study of Negro Life, Association for the Study of Afro-American Life and History, ASALH, A-S-A-L-H, became Dean of the School of the Liberal Arts, Howard University, became the Dean of West Virginia State College, started a publishing company, Associated Publishers, books, so 100 articles, 120 news, founded Black History Week in 1926, chose February. Americans did not know the 13th Amendment freeing the Africans had been signed in January 1865. And then if he's talking about obviously freedom of the slaves, he's talking about the 13th Amendment with the 20 sections. He's not talking that they're talking about when they say 13th Amendment. So yeah, he's pretty much somebody who should know what's up. And what did he say again? Oscar De Priest was distributing by thousands copies of the Constitution of the United States. Okay, hold on a second. Let's see. 1 second. Now, it's very interesting. Okay. Hold session of Moorish science body. Many delegates from temples attend. The annual convention of the Moorish Science Temple of America, October 14th at Unity Hall. Prophet Noble Joe Ali, founder and head of the body, will preside over the sessions, which close Saturday evening. More than 1,000 delegates from 15 temples in America were reported present during the meetings. Following the registrations at the headquarters, reports were read from 2 grand governors, T. Crombie Bay of Pittsburgh and Lomax Bay of Detroit. Tuesday evening, the welcome address was delivered by Alderman Louis B. Anderson. Other speakers were Oscar DePriest, 3rd Ward committeeman, before he was congressman. He was a committeeman and member of the temple, Moorish Science Temple. Not UNI and none of that stuff, Moorish Science Temple. And he was running for the position. Now, it is said that this concept, when you go read the Chicago Defender articles of the Moorish Science Temple, because those are up there, you know what I mean? This internet age, nobody can hide nothing anymore. When you go read all the articles in all the Chicago newspapers relative to the Moors, don't forget, these are the Negro papers, not the European papers. The Negro papers. They were covering Moorish activity. And their newspapers had articles talking about Oscar DePriest enforcing the Constitution. I think this is going to be the man, because he's trying to show Negroes how to get free by enforcing this document that half of these Negroes never even heard of, Constitution. Much less know that it comes from their ancient foremothers and forefathers that these Europeans had arrangements with. Why didn't they know? Because they thought they were Negroes, blacks, coloreds, all the stuff that the Queen and the King said, we're going to label those Moors that. So they have no connection to their history. And Carter G. Woodson, black guy, is telling you about Oscar DePriest being a constitutionalist congressman for the black guys. Now, if blacks aren't citizens and all that stuff, clearly he wasn't for the black guys. Because black guys, Negroes, and colored Africans can't enforce a constitution. Once again, all the black guys have told our people want to pretend like Moors, like we're crazy because we wear these bucket hats and stuff, Islam and all that. We wear funny clothes. We got Illuminati stuff on. Like, we're crazy. But when you go check all the black leaders, guys, stuff that these people say that they rep, you realize that they're talking the same stuff that Noble Joe Ali is telling these people. So how come we're starting to realize that you know, if Dr. Ben Moors, Asian Moors, and Arab Moors, and then people say, yeah, we rep Dr. Ben, but forget the Moors, they're not, and doesn't that let you know something's going on? If somebody's gonna say, yeah, we give honors to Noble Drew Ali, you know, I mean, he's a prophet, you know, and all that stuff, you know, because he's our brother and we love him and all of that stuff. Then how come you're not denouncing the fact that Fard Muhammad can't be the prophet then, or Allah? Because there's somebody that was before him that said he was that. But they're not gonna hear what we're saying, right? You never hear what Moors are saying. They always got something to say, the black guys. Moors put it on the record, they don't want to hear nothing. Why do they want to hear? What's wrong with hearing what the Moors are saying? Is it really that bad? No. Let's just see here. From black Muslims to Muslim, from separatism to Islam, 1930 to 1980. Justin E. Marsh. From black Muslims to Muslim, the transition from separatism to Islam, 1930 to 1980. Chapter 3. Moor Science Temple. This is a quote. Imam Wallace D. Muhammad, Chief Minister, World Community of Al-Islam in the West. Fard Muhammad studied Noble Drew Ali's approach to introduce the Quran to the black community. Professor Fard introduced the whole text of the Quran in the very inception of the Nation of Islam. To introduce it, he had to put it in the package of Drew Ali. That's not what we're saying as Moors. This is outside people. Now, if he knows that much, now you know why he left. Not because remember, Imam Wallace D. Muhammad. So you see your black guys in Muhammad and stuff like that for America? No, that nation is Islam history. This is what it is. So Nation of Islam guy is not that anymore. He's something else. Because he found out while he was in Nation of Islam that Fard Muhammad studied from Noble Drew Ali. Not Noble Drew Ali studied from people like to go on video and then that's how they're presenting it. That's not how it went. Because here's a name. No. A Nation of Islam guy is letting you know. Remember, he's not part of it no more, so he can talk. Unlike certain people who like to keep honors to certain people and stuff like that, which gave them jurisdiction to come in his stuff and shoot him. Because he's still giving us honors when you know what's up. You're talking BS, but you still saying honors to whatever? All right. We'll take care of you. We'll create the climate to make you disappear. Everybody either came out of what Noble Drew Ali was doing, or of what Marcus Garvey was doing in the 1920s. And then the people were against them, and NAACP and the rest. Remember, pre-1930. These people like in 1930, they don't like to go into their Moorish history, right? They got black history that they're going to train in 1930 and say, Ahmed, and because he brought us, he's the messenger of Allah and all that stuff. Messenger of Allah? Messenger of Allah went to Noble. So what do you mean? What do you mean he's a messenger of Allah? When he went to Noble Ali school. Not he went to school with Noble Ali. He went to Noble Ali school. Doesn't that let you know something? Isn't something be by this point? With regard to this thing called Moors, everybody's looking at Moors and they're looking over. We're not those bucket hat guys. Oh, yes, you are. You just don't have on your bucket hat. Or you just choose to call yourself black or Negro or African or come from the blackness of the whatever. Everybody knows. The Nation of Islam evolved from the Moorish organization founded by Timothy Drew. Drew was a semi-literate migrant to New York, New Jersey, who worked as a train expressman before starting the first Moorish Science Temple there in 1913. Drew came upon two revelations influenced his thinking. He encountered some fertile philosophy and was impressed with its racial Catholicity. According to the legend of the movement, Timothy Drew made a pilgrimage to North Africa, where he received a commission from the King of Morocco to teach Islam to the Negroes in the United States. Drew had to pass a test to prove he was the prophet of Allah. The test involved the pyramids of Egypt, in which Drew allegedly was released inside and had to find his way out. Drew Ali mastered the pyramids, and they knew he was the prophet. He came back to the temple in New Jersey in 1913. Timothy Drew changed his name to Noble Drew Ali and began to spread his doctrine in basements, empty lots, and street corners in Newark, New Jersey. Noble Drew Ali had very little formal education, but a certain magnetic charm, a sincerity of purpose, and a real determination to lead his people out of the difficulties of racial prejudice and discrimination brought him followers. Nationality. Marcus Garvey's Universal Negro Improvement Association and Drew Ali's Moorish Science Temple flourished about the same time, though Garvey had many more followers than Ali. Garvey started the UNIA in Jamaica in 1914 and founded a branch in Harlem in 1916. Members believed that Marcus Garvey was a forward to plant seed in the people and prepared by Noble Drew Ali. Unlike Garvey, however, Drew Ali did not call for immigration to Africa. Drew Ali was purely psychological. Noble Drew Ali and his followers sought a psychic escape by changing their names and the symbols of their culture. They hoped to change their social fortunes. Drew Ali advocated that true emancipation would come through knowledge of Black Americans' African heritage and becoming Muslims. He also felt it was for Europeans and Islam was for people of African descent. Peace on earth was not possible, according to Ali, until each racial group has its own true religion. Noble Drew Ali advocated that individuals must know themselves and their nationality before they can know Allah. Drew Ali founded the Moorish Science Temple upon the idea that African Americans are Asiatics, specifically Moors, whose ancestors had come from Morocco. Moorish Americans are descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Drew Ali also taught his members to believe that when a star and crescent moon were seen in the sky, this betokened the arrival of the day of the Asiatics and the destruction of. How many times, Moors, have we seen crescent and stars in the sky? No, black guy's gonna think that there's some religious whatever, but Moors know that when we speak about law, we mean nature. We mean universe. We don't mean Black's Law Dictionary and stuff like that. That's just so that the European could relate. Because that's the only other people who we're going to be dealing with law with, because our people, they think that that's white man stuff to do with it. Right? Noble Drew Ali's doctrine inspired Fard Muhammad to create similar value systems for the Nation of Islam. During an interview with Imam Wallace D. Muhammad, he explained how Fard Muhammad taught members of the Nation of Islam that we were Black Asiatics, and that's what Drew Ali taught his people. Fard taught us we were descendants from a great Islamic kingdom, and Drew Ali taught his people the same. Drew Ali taught that people of African descent were subjugated to white domination because they used Black or Ethiopian. Noble Drew Ali provided African Americans with a new national origin that made them a part of a far-flung Moorish nation and had somehow made its way to North America. Philosophy was published in his 64-page Holy Quran, a pamphlet consisting of principles from the Islamic Quran, Christian Bible, some of Marcus Garvey's African nationalist ideas, and historical interpretations. The Holy Quran was to be read only by his followers. The Holy Quran proclaimed that Noble Drew Ali was a prophet ordained by Allah to carry the message of Islam to people of African descent in America. Membership in Ali's Moorish Science Temple was restricted to Asiatics only, by which he meant any person who is non-Caucasian. Moorish Americans, however, were overwhelmingly comprised of Black people. Moorish Americans were comprised of Black people. Remember, this black guy just putting out what he saw. Just like sis with the book. Oh, there's some Moors. I'll just go ask them. Hi, how you guys doing? Yeah, more, oh, yeah, reincarnated Noble Drew Ali. Oh, yeah, okay, thanks. I'll be over here. I'm gonna write my book and talk about these Moors and their reincarnated prophet and all this stuff. I don't know where these Moors think that they know something. Those aren't the Moors. Whichever Moors told you that Moorish Americans were Black people, but they're Moorish Americans now, those aren't the Moors. You talk with the wrong Moors. But you did have some good information about this connection between this later group that was saying the stuff that Noble Drew Ali said. Remember, this is the beginning, before Nation of Islam, in Allah's Temple of Islam. And remember, Fard Muhammad had to say that he was Noble Drew Ali reincarnated in order to get the members to be on his side after Noble Drew Ali died. That's right. Organizational comparisons between Moorish Science Temple and Nation of Islam. Nationality: Moorish Science Temple, Moorish Americans. Nation of Islam, Asiatic Black. Moorish Science Temple, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad. Oh, they didn't even say far. Moorish Science Temple, Islam. Nation of Islam, Islam. Land: no desire for a separate state because we're on our own estate, so there's no need to separate, right? And Nation of Islam, separate state, because they say this is wilderness and there's nothing here but wilderness, so why are we here? Well, you know, you could just go in that ocean right there and go back to where you came from instead of staying in slave master's land. Since go back to Asiatic Black land, wherever that is. Oh, can't do that because you guys are fraud. You're really Moorish Americans, and you've been playing people serious with this BS about you're an Islamic nation. But these people are paying membership dues and stuff like that, and they're getting cards that say they're members, not nationals. But you're a nation amongst yourself. Moorish Science Temple, sacred texts, Quran created by Noble Drew Ali, Nation of Islam, Islamic Quran, and Christian Bible. God, oh, this one's interesting. Moorish Science Temple, God, Allah. Nation of Islam, Allah in the form of Fard Muhammad. Allah in the form of Fard Muhammad is God to the Nation of Islam. So Allah was a member of the Moorish Science Temple before founding the Nation of Islam and then passing it on to Elijah Muhammad. Allah did that. Or did Allah reincarnate into Fard Muhammad because Allah, you know, died because, you know, Allah was in custody because some galactic police murdered some chauffeur that he had or something like that. And then he reincarnated in Fard Muhammad. Then Allah is now Fard Muhammad telling people about you're black Asiatics. And Noble Drew Ali said certain things, but don't worry about that because I'm Allah. I'm here now to save you. And you guys fell for that. And you say Moors are tripping on some Noble Drew Ali. We're tripping. Your God is a man, but you're not God though. But this pale man is God. I thought kill crackers and stuff like that. How come you guys don't kill Allah in the person of Master Fard Muhammad? He looked pretty close to a cracker. Oh, but no, you can't do that because, you know, he's holier than thou, people. That's Allah. You can't talk about Allah like that. Oh, no, I'm not part of the Nation of Islam, so you're not going to know all that stuff. Don't get your hand out your pocket and all that. We're just putting out the facts. Don't get mad at me. Go get mad at Clifton E. Marsh. From black Muslims to Muslims, the transition from separatism to Islam. Don't get mad at me. Just remember, book. This is not Kudrow stuff. I never came up with all this stuff that I'm reading here. This is Clifton Marsh stuff. So if you have a problem, go check Clifton Marsh. Go check him. Moorish Science Temple, race, Nation of Islam, Asiatic Blacks, Tribe of Shabazz. Always putting in some stuff in Noble Drew all these stuff. You can't just stick to the program. Right? Place of worship, temple, Nation of Islam, mosque. Stop lying. It's Allah's temple of Islam. no mosque, nothing. There's a mosque. There's not that kind of Islam. It's temple that you have. You guys know that it was a temple before it was a mosque. You know it was a temple. And you know that it was a temple, and you just pretend like, oh, nothing matters. Oh, it's all right. You know, we'll just say whatever we want. Yeah, that's really where y'all went. Really, y'all went there. They're talking about you know that Allah, in the person of Fard Muhammad, learned from Noble Drew Ali that color. How you black Asiatics? How you turn to black? How you honor Noble Drew Ali, but you're telling people that they're black Asiatics? Mm-hmm. Moorish Science Temple, heaven in the mind, Nation of Islam on earth. Realize you're getting played? You realize that you're getting played yet? You've been playing you? Names, BL. Nation of Islam, X. Replace slave name because real name is unknown. Stop lying. You're Elijah Poole Bay. You're David. What do you mean? The name is unknown. What do you mean it's unknown? You guys are Bays and L's. You say you honor Noble Drew Ali. If you honor Noble Drew Ali, if you're going in the meeting and talking about, well, yeah, Noble Drew Ali told us that, whatever, then you know about Bay and L. You know that that's the name. And these people didn't tell the people the name. Remember this now, we're just reviewing, the black guy's book, Clifton E. Marsh, who wrote the black guy book about from black Muslims to Muslims, the transition from separatism to Islam. Right, don't get, it's not Cujo talking. We're just putting it together because it's Black History Month. So we're going to listen to the black guys. We read from Carter G. Woodson, black guy. He said that Oscar the Priest was printing thousands of constitutions, giving those out to Negroes. And then they honor Oscar the Priest. Then the Moors say, enforce the Constitution. And then, that's the white man stuff. How come you guys weren't telling us the Constitution was the white man stuff? Why were you listening to Oscar the Priest say enforce the Constitution, and then Moors are telling you enforce the Constitution for the same freedom that you guys were complaining about back then that you weren't getting? Now Moors saying do it, and then you don't want to hear what Moors are saying? How are you not hearing what Moors are saying? When Oscar the Priest was first congressman black guy that was telling you guys enforce the Constitution. Not only telling you enforce the Constitution, used his congressman whatever, printed it out for you, and brought it to you to enforce. But no Oscar the Priest. All right. We get it. We get it. And it's okay. We're absolutely fine. Because we know about our nationality and birthrights. You could not know if you want. You could play around like you know stuff. You know what I mean? And then when Moors slap you up, then you're complaining. Right? But don't say that you weren't told. Don't say that the Moors didn't tell you. Remember, we read all your black guy books today. Okay, one more book. Everybody else's black guys books. And black guys know what's up. Black guys know. They told you, and you still not getting down with the program after your own black guys told you. That's some cognitive dissonance on some supreme levels. That's like quadruple calcified pineal. Now you in pineal for four generations, your pineal gland's been calcifying more every generation. Now you got it 4 times calcified. You're gonna listen to some black guys that don't know what they're talking about, but the black guys who know what they're talking about and told you what's up, you don't want to hear them. And then when Moors tell you the same thing that the black guys who you say you rep, then you don't want to hear. All right, we're gonna put it out because, like they say, you know, all you gotta do is just save one. You did your job. We'll save a handful saved. Only 144,000. 104. The amount of people on the planet, 144,000 is probably about 1. So don't get caught up that we're gonna wake up and in a multitude of people are all Negro dumb. That's all they want. They're good with their Negro dumb. They're good. Moorish World History, Chapter 7. Brother Lendiel going in on his Virginia, his Moorish World History Virginia edition. We are sides of the Atlantic. Moor means Aboriginal of Africa, an Egyptian term used to describe the indigenous people of Africa. All Africans were esteemed as Moors. The late Joseph McCabe, Joseph MCE, once observed a Moorish anthropologist would call the same pale Moors. He stated, the name Moor restricted to Morocco, but it was customary to Africans as Moors. The highly ambiguous word Negro had not yet been invented. We know from contemporary, which have come down to us from the era of medieval Moorish supremacy, not consider themselves white men. An interesting discussion of this point may be found in one of the many valuable Professor J.B.S. Haldane, Haldane, as follows. We are so accustomed to hearing of Europeans that it is perhaps worth quoting from the Moorish writer Said of Toledo. At the Toledo was in Moorish hands, describing the people who lived north of the Pyrenees. He said, temperaments and never reach maturity. They are great stature and of a white color, but they lack all sharpness of wit and intellect. We must remember that 700 years ago, such a point of view had at least empirical justification, for at that time trigonometry was being studied in Toledo. In Europe, a man would, if he had got as far as the 5th proposition of the first book of Euclid, heredity and Politics, J.B.S. Haldane, Heredity and Politics. Arabs, on the other hand, at that time, who were always a minority in the so-called Arab culture of the Middle Ages, regarded a dark complexion as a badge of honor. One of the most learned of modern historians, Professor Arnold Toynbee, T-O-Y-N-B, noted that the primitive Arabs, who were the ruling element of the Umayyad Caliphate, called themselves the swarthy people, with connotation of racial superiority, and their Persian and Turkish subjects, the ruddy people, with a connotation of inferiority. That is to say, they drew the distinction that Europeans draw between blondes and brunettes. See the book To African Civilization, John G. Jackson. In the days of the Crusaders, of the leader whose pious arms redeemed the sepulchre of Christ from the mixed nations of Asia and Libya, the price of war horse was 3 slaves. The Turks, whose laws forbids the enslaving of a Mohammedan, still continue to sell Christian captives. And we have seen that the father of Virginia, John Smith, had himself tasted the bitterness of Turkish bondage. All this might have had no influence on the destinies of America, but for the long and doubtful struggles between the Christians and the Moors in the west of Europe, where for more than 7 centuries, more than 3,000 battles, the two religions were and revenge and animated the spirit of merciless and extermination. France and Italy were first slaves. The number of them sold into Christian pirates of Barbary, who had pleaded for the Christian, felt no sympathy. The final victory of the Spaniards over the Moors of Granada, an event contemporary with the discovery of America, was by a great emigration of Moors to the coast of North Africa, where each mercantile city became a nest of pirates, and every Christian the wanted treasure of the successful corsair. Servitude was thus the doom of the Christian in North Africa. The hatred of the Moorish dominion extended to all Africa, and indiscriminate and retaliating bigotry felt no remorse at doming the sons of Africa to bondage. All Africans were esteemed as Moors. From the book, The History of the United States and Discovery of the American Continent. So, you know, Moors, they put in their work so that people could have some insight, some knowledge, you know what I mean? And not just be dumb Negroes forever. Forever. All your black guys. Noble Drawley Plenipotentiaries, CalifaMedia.com. John Edward Bruce, 1856-1824. New York-based intellectual, journalist, and Garveyite, was a key figure in linking individual Africa, the West Indies, and the United States in Pan-African causes. In 1911, in New York, he co-founded with Arthur Schomburg the Negro Society, was well known to many leading Africans, particularly in historical research. He was one of the best editors to work on the Negro world. Bruce served as American correspondent for the South African Elaga Lasse Natal. Because of such ties and the wide distribution of his syndicated column, he corresponded with several African intellectuals, politics people, and often hosted African visitors to the United States. His close acquaintances and admirers included Mojola Agbebi, OLA-AGBEBI, Wilmot Blyden, Deuce Muhammad Ali, John L. Dube, Solomon Patji, Solomon Plaatje, Joseph Casely Hayford, James Aggery, etc., etc. During his long career as a crusading journalist, Bruce moved increasingly towards support for Black nationalism at home and abroad. He was at first critical of Garvey, but devoted the last 6 years of his life to passionate support for the UNIA. He became a writer and editor of the Negro World and was awarded the UNIA honorary title of Canada. Garvey delivered the eulogy at Bruce's Worth Liberty Hall, or 1924 Liberty Hall funeral, which was attended by some of 5,000 mourners. From William Glenn Cornell, The Life and Thoughts of John Edward Bruce. Now, what's interesting, when doing my research on John Edward Bruce, there was something striking. That there was this picture of John Edward Bruce, and the picture read, John Edward Bruce pictured with a brother Moore. Now, remember he died in 1924. So, you know, he's working with Marcus Garvey, friends with Deuce Muhammad Ali. Brother Moore. Remember a black guy, John Edward Bruce, black guy. You guys, black guy. Known as an intellectual and all that stuff, writing articles and all that. You think these people really don't know? They have to. And they try to tell our people don't want to hear. They love to feel. Right? Our people don't hear. But feeling, oh, they love that. They love that. They love the belt. They love the belt so much that is not even funny. It's not even funny how they love the belt. But you know, that's how it goes. So the Moors worldwide, we do, you know, put the energies out there that you learn something. We do want you to just, you know, take what Moors are saying. Just take what Moors are saying as real. Just take it as real. You know what I mean? And check it out for yourself. Don't forget, we have this weekend, we have our welcome. Come and challenge the Moors with all your stuff that you're claiming is whatever. You know what I mean? Bring all your Moorish questions, all your doubts about that you're a Moor and all that stuff. Bring it down to 29 St. Denis. We're going to be upstairs. We're going to have Dr. Kaba on the screen for you to ask whatever questions you want to ask to the good doctor. Moors, of course, you know what I mean? You're welcome. Bring your question just in case the Negroes don't show up. At least you can build with the good doctor. All right. His time is 12:30. We're starting sharp. No black time. Right. And once we start, you know, we'll see how it goes, because this is just for Moors to answer any questions that any black guys have, because, you know, they might be watching YouTube or something like that. They might, you know, they might not really really know and want to know. So we figure, since it's Black History Month, you know what I mean, we'll have a free open house with a scholar that the black guy, you know, he was in Hidden Colors and all that stuff. So the black guy should be down for this. And, you know, we're not taking any questions having nothing to do with Moors. If you're coming with some questions about, well, did the slave ships and, well, how did the Dogon, oh no, save all that BS for Dogon people and Egyptian whatever people. We're dealing with Moorish and anything pertaining to Moors. So don't show up if you're gonna come with your Dogon questions and I was watching your video, and then Hidden Colors about the ancients were the all that BS. Save it. You won't even hear it. No questions with more. Let's see how much questions you guys come up with now. 29 St. Denis. The 10th. We're having another session on the 17th. Until we have the session on the 17th, the session is going to be on the 10th, which is this coming. And keep in mind, people, keep in mind that we are doing our people a favor. This is not a debate. This is not a whatever contest because the Moors think they know whatever. No, we know that people have questions about Moors. So this is your opportunity to speak with a scholar, because you don't want to hear what Grand Sheiks are saying. You don't want to hear what Grand Secretary is saying. You don't want to hear what Grand Chairman's saying. You don't want to hear to what Moor Science Temple members. Fine, cool. You don't have to hear us. We'll bring your black scholar guy, since it's Black History Month and all that stuff, and then you could ask them and see what they say. And remember, only questions pertaining to the Moors. We don't want to hear any questions about any other BS. We could care less. Only questions. Did they enslave black people? You could ask those stuff. You know what I mean? Who are the Moors really? You know, am I a Moor? You know, you ask questions relative to Moors. But any of that other stuff, I was watching your lecture on spirituality is unseen science, and you were talking about the metaphysicals of the, you know, you pay your own consultation fee and book him and you got to get the questions answered. You're not going to do that on our strength, trying to assist you about Moors. You're asking questions about BS that has nothing to do with anything. Moorish? So Islam to all the Moors. Peace and love. Peace and love. Islam more.
Islam.
The chat. I didn't even get to go on the chat because I was on the horse tonight. These guys
ain't nothing wrong with it. We need you up on that horse there,
after I watched Landry's one, I was mad, yo, because I didn't even know who the hell my son is and stuff like that. I go check this man's credentials. I'm like, what the hell is this? This guy's talking BS.
You can tell he's a fraud, though, more. He don't even have his hand on his heart. He got his hand on his titty. He's dead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that on just do it one time. Just let me do it one time.
I know, one time.
My man say, pull the thong out your crack. You fans wearing bitch ass nigga.
They had me mad on that song, bro. They had me mad.
You ain't did nothing wrong. You did everything right, young Moore. I like that.
Islam. And Islam to the Moors.
I want to say thank you. Thank you, Moore. Thank you. I give thanks, Moore.
And I'm gonna take a one out of the book again. Just make sure we had one person do the thumbs down. So make sure everybody who's watching, make sure you go put your thumbs up stuff. So you know what I mean? We can just drown out the thumbs down guy or the thumbs down girl or the one content uploader. The no content uploaders on YouTube. They got a YouTube page, but they have no content on their stuff. Why you have no content on your stuff? Why you have a YouTube page if you don't have content? The one subscriber, no content, YouTube comment people that like to thumbs down our stuff. Get the hell out of here.
I love you, Moors.
Islam to all the Moors. Peace and love. Sorry, oh yeah, sorry. I didn't mean my son. I meant my youth. That was my bad. Sorry, brother Lottery. That was my bad. My youth. I meant my youth. So yeah, so
I gotta get Lottery on there. Tell him I need to get him on there. So
no doubt.
Next one, I'm getting on there. Give me the sheik and I'm ready.
So in my Supreme L voice.
Civilizations, knowing social progress, reducing the rate of evolution. That's how the humans will lose. The truth is moved. Northeast, west, and south is called
the oppressor. We got the tools to make everything better.
Dave, having you, Dave.
Everyone wanna just rap nowadays. No content, just crap nowadays. Pierce in the lips with tats on their face. Cross on forehead with a cushion days. Marley's kills more brain cells. Street doors revolve, masons stay in cells. No service hours, you're doing dead time in a cellar with a fellow with parking fine. What's the world coming to? Not to an end, but an end for those that can't comprehend. Those that can't think or use faculties with no nationality with these casualties. Chaos with plans, don't take here like the Jews under Hitler but Draper. No ashes calling the masses. No tooth, no wig, no funeral, no casket. Deep cops with masks, riot airtels, 84 prophecies, George Orwell. We living on an animal farm, can't you see it's blatant? Zombies are doctor's patients. Flu shot takers, high off a vaccine. So high thinking liquor is Listerine. They're doing dumb shit, minds that walk like wetwood. No cars around, but they rep hoods. Rep big gas, while babies get clapped. Not the one sinning, giving back claps. Not reconstructors changing maps. Or fake governments imposing acts. Or the ones selling horse meat and snacks. In black, it's only darkness light lack. Third eye blind, sight lack. Watch it crash when the empire strikes back.
What's wrong with this world? Many falling down the wrong trail, but all is well. What's wrong with this world? This must be one of the hell that we are serving ourselves. What's wrong with this world? Many falling down the wrong trail, but all is well. What's wrong with this world? This must be one of the hell that we are serving ourselves.
Eternal inflation, the cause of mind devastation. Hear what I'm saying? The problem is based in creating life imitation. Only for those that understand. Let us observe the ancients of Egypt. Walk lightly, going forward with this book. Symmetry declares I'm O2 in air. ET's position, ears are good already there. A kind man of understanding is what I share. But I ain't speak truth from what he teach. Frequency and range, lifestyles now key. I left the block physical and now telepathy. On wisdom, life a game of chess till we free. Life is essence, calculate with care. What's wrong with this world? Survive it care. What's wrong with this world? Many follow down the wrong trail. But all is well. What's wrong with this world? This must be one of the hell that we are serving ourselves. What's wrong with this world? Many follow down the wrong trail. But all is well. What's wrong with this world? This must be one of the hell that we are serving ourselves.
Minds lost or gone, don't know where it is. Used to act like animals from being called kids. Guns to the time till they shooting off lead, so with every metal more, a lot of them skid roll. Jeans and pants tight with swag like Cisco. Luck for 90 bad, but where dicks go, get them time to labels that extort. Innocence from those innocent and more views and abuse. Rap game is church. Executives play with balls like nerds. Simulating bass shot was hot like the turf. Souls selling out, not knowing what it's worth. Rich rappers pass, they clutching their purse. Use livestock nowadays in a hearse. Think life's a movie, this ain't Skyfall. Faces were bad, now they tackle eyeballs. Everybody's piercing strain of faces. Unconscious more, stop blaming races. Claim a place, don't claim mistakes. Those are plantations, no frame or base. Disgrace, I wonder why we are disgraced. Asking why am I part of this race that I never win. Seems we never won. We fight each other using their guns. But when they fight, they're using our sons. In wars, never near, always fought once. We'll learn. Just need to get scarred once. From ear to chin, stay out the bin. Stay off the corner, learn the hard way. Real killers don't cross over like Hardaway. Stay off the corner, learn the hard way. Real killers don't cross over like Hardaway.
What's wrong with this world? Many follow down the wrong trail. But all is well. What's wrong with this world? This must be one of the hell that we are serving ourselves. What's wrong with this world? Many follow down the wrong trail. But all is well. What's wrong with this world? This must be one of the hell that we are serving ourselves. What's wrong with this world? Many follow down the wrong trail. But all is well. What's wrong with this world? This must be one of the hell that we are serving ourselves.
Are you black and bleak or you bleach? Are you sure of the things that you keep? Like the depths and the heights of the knowledge that you reach, are secured in your rights or you breach? Ain't the sure in the rights that you seek? Not entitled to the inheritance left for the meek or the Moors. You want more? The blood that was dripped or the sweat through the pores. Identity was stripped already on the shores. The slave ships, I'm a Washington Moore. Came out of spaceship, but you don't want what's yours. Now Troy Davis is a metaphor. Metaphor, simile. A simulation to do it simply. You a corporate, artificial entity. Civilized to more tools, not a human being. Ask yourself this question, who man being? If black means pale, then white means being. And from the darkness where we see. And I shine bright, who's Illuminati? Illuminati, they play hide and seek. I bear that light they claim they keep.
This is our land. They took it over by force.
Instead of birthrights and nationality, rims and bright lights is our reality. Caught up in the paper thin system, ignorant of the fact that it's just a fallacy. Fabricated via fraud fictions, sugar, salt, starch, crack addictions. Miles been thrown, we already home. Minus the rock out of pocket, bit all to the end of villain. It takes courage and discipline to right the old wrongs. We used to singing old songs and wake back up from the sleep we've been in. Sip a little more juice, a little more rum and a little more juice, a little more sky and a little more goose, and another little black fairy tale hype very well with a little more dead and a little less truth.
This is our land. They took it over by force.
Attorney Brian Cameron didn't do like Lincoln before. Beat the charge saying Troy Davis is a Moor. Not a Negro, like execution hero and appropriate persona. No, I won't get to the march. Stop playing. My weapon is pressing a charge. If I self-law and master, slaves always frontin'. Wanna fight after they score from button. Troy could have lived, he didn't have to. Be the 2011 era by plaintiff. Legal injection, get the vein stiff. And his seats always screamed at racist. Think about it, he dreads got 2011. To prove we haven't learned since 1857. Some won't like what I'm telling. No beg fretting. Washita brief, no pelican. Slave days, no big remembrance. So take sentencing and be impending. Let's see who will learn from this lesson. Blessing, dunk you in Truth Baptist Water Confessions. Troy proves nationality to order. No dressing, no condiments. How many more Moors must face Troy Davis had consequence?
This is our land. They took it over by force.
Once again, another by-fall victim. Accusations made Troy Davis a victim. Coupled with the grudge and the rage of the system designed for the acts of deception. You miswage war on the cause, the identity, lost laws, controlling more cause. They losing DNA parts of the whole incomplete. The game to compete is way more prevalent. They know they got to feel the defeat. Many want to know why the better of the Melanites suffer from the so-called elite. And to know that you're landing your bright inheritance, law behavior. Rising, it's Troy Davis, we're calling on on their minds we created. Reality we make it as real as it gets. Try to give us all the turn to check.
In the civilization in Peru, give me this movie called 17 Prophecies. Movie 17 Prophecies, James Benson. But in the movie, there are two crackers riding down the road. These two avions are riding down. One turns to the other and says, well, how did they get the land in which they have acquired? Referring to the Catholic Church. Guess what this cracker said? He looked at him and said, the Lord gave it to them for a land. This is in the movie. Go get this movie.
Hey, yo, this is straight up for all them niggas out there fronting on some bullshit in the beginning.
Most talk whack when they talk on wax. Mr. Talk crap and rap should rock on tax. Doing a song about Kobe, what's wrong with Shaq? Co-MVP acceptor, what's wrong with Shaq? Saw this hat, I wonder what's wrong with Mike. Lesbian stole the arm, what's wrong with Dykes? What's wrong today, what's wrong yesterday? What's wrong with truth, liars got nothing. The spirits and bottles is what's wrong with booze. No code wrong with cruise. Too much bias is what's wrong. At the same level is what's wrong with shoes. I could get shot is what's wrong with blues. Knowledge as a nationality is what's wrong with Jews. You're not Spanish is what's wrong with Negro. You're brown is what's wrong with black people. No energy is what's wrong with money. It's just paper and lacks currency. They're not disciplined is what's wrong with youths. Safe sex taught is what's wrong with schools. Babies having babies pulling out their hair. But he's the man of the house in a baby shed. Following myths is what's wrong with thugs. You're killing people. It's what's wrong with selling drugs. What's wrong with man? What's wrong with maps? That's not hip hop. Is what's wrong with rap. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? You're messing with swan and bird that give the flu. They give the virus and got no cure. Got you taking bait with no law. I'm the white man. What's wrong with y'all? Niggas are monkeys. We think it's stall. Blacks are deaf people, and that's a fact with no volition. Is why they act the way they do. Think backwards and forward too. Pioneer clothes, that's why you have an awkward view. What's wrong with me? I chill with Jupiter and Esau. Who's more conscious than cooling black people? What's wrong with crack? It's not evil. Midnight man against the pyramid, just the ego. Through deception, we still suffer slavery. When accent's over, don't say maybe. It's old now, slavery is alive and well. While not honor of our parents is why we fell. No man is able to change my descent unless beyond God is Allah, his hand extends. The great sin to us is nationality and failure to claim our nationality. How far do the effects of great sin go? Down the rabbit hole, walking on gold brick roads. Patriot Euros using a common law to call a birthright being taught in the lodge. Your culture was stolen in 1492. You went from being Aladdin to nigga Abu. You say it's a cartoon, but he's got your fares, and you got your mom stocking like caps on your heads. Yeah. Here we go, y'all. Yeah. Shit's livicated. I ain't cheap. Yeah. Here we go, y'all. Yeah. Shit's livicated. I ain't cheap. Kiss mama bye. I'm on the road to stardom. Turn back on the conscious road, no stardom. Just cause I'm an MC, I must be a fan. My faves growing up as Black Cam and Sham. Intrepid Styles, brass tacks. The whole Flemo Park, can't forget our tracks. Big Daddy Kane, C, Scoob and Scrap. Express myself like Ice Cube, no
Raiders cap. 2 CMP got me subliminally glancing through Dr. Ben books since 93. Paid no mind to that, into money and power. Shot at DB with giants, the top of the tower. Now I'm into cracking gats, hats to the back in polo. Thanks G-Rap, Lord Finesse and Daddy IU fresh. Wanted Hirachis and Jordans with the mesh. Didn't self-destruct to get them, I just waited. Hearing Jeff transform as he cross-faded. Travel Fox and Buffalinos, suits of silk. Bumped into baseball when I went to buy milk. He said no deal, I don't care like D. Leave that to Michi, mom is my priority first. Heard stop, look and listen, love light. Saw the Power album, loved Ice-T's wife. Digging through the crates, Diamond D, Master Ace. When 88.1 played Apocalypse and Ace. Deal with your case, LL kinda bad. Nowadays rappers show their chests cause they fag. Walls of posters, MCs and boasters. What's the boot camp crew chant before Escoshka? EFPMD brought Redman to me, Big L and Special Ed told me touch instead. Cause he dropped the 50 MCs, all my faves. I levocate this to MCs that's now in the grave. I like to levocate this to hip hop. The 5 elements under ish hop. Giving respect cause of you I made it. Big up the black dot cause he helped us save it. I like to levocate this to the DJs. I like to levocate this to the dancers. I like to scared to say don't touch my ass. You B-ball cowards try that with me. Ball in the face in 48 hours. Punks and dresses, wearing headbands with flowers. Kendrick Lamar, all boys, bars after hours. They calls with them. Those Negroes with record deals can't drive their own cars, just spinning the wheels. Faking the funk, not from the main source. Singing rhyming, saying nothing to us, nothing more than mommy. Frontin', started at the top and telling you the bottom. Get a plane in your name if you'll take it in the bottom. No thanks, not trying to be in those ranks. Having to sell out my people but chained to a plank. Blood dripping shots all around, swimming circles. End up like Pac cause they said that they won't hurt you. Trust them, then the hologram of Tupac busting. Coke on his nose, feed in a McMuffin. You're listening to rappers, only master MCs. In the B-boy pose when you capture MCs. No tight jeans, one by one master MCs. Big B's and wood pendants when you capture MCs. No listening to rappers, only master MCs. In the B-boy pose when you capture MCs. No tight jeans, one by one master MCs. Big B's and wood pendants when you capture MCs. Watch out, keep eyes open, it's fake snowing. Malcolm Moore, the best rapper with his Grammy blowing. They're not taking over, blacks just give it away. And wonder why they have nothing and living this way. Uncivilized position, forced for the civilized mission. Dissing our self-proclaimed racists when the civilized dissing. And it's cheating the land, God's carry heat in hand. Bringing Lord some crusaders, assisting hands. No one ever knowing, some telling and showing. Most are only seeing what they taught to believe in. Dumbing them down, the wrong channel you're cruising. Caught up in sovereignty schemes and always losing. It's a wretched world, axe fanning. Play a whack track and a whack rap from the bandwagon. Zombies jump on like couches and wagons. Draw concentration camp, fort black painted cannons. Or New Year's dragons. Or Saints Day to drink beer cause they killed Nagas. People lost their minds and they're not getting it back. Rap e-pills, commercial rap, kill you like crack. When Moors say it, conscious blacks say prove that. And they still won't accept the proof facts. I'm not feeling too many of these rapping new jacks. I guess that's that. I'm Casanova's beat boom back. Listening to rappers, only master MCs. In a B-boy pose when you capture MCs. No tight jeans, one by one master MCs. Big B's and wood pendants when you capture MCs. No listening to rappers, only master MCs. In a B-boy pose, rapper capture MCs. No tight jeans, one by one master MCs. Big B's and wood pendants when you capture MCs. Iron Sheik inducted, now a secret chief. Flow Lord of Vic rappers, Mike Sharif. Got producers giving me free beats like unique. Cause when I flow, it's deep like a coral reef. Wash up, rapping jellyfish on the beach. Nothing to hide, show my face when I speak. Black power cartels, I black Charles Martels. Hammer the points dull, just like colors pastel. I drop it so hard that you need a hard hat. Rappers take off like Sleepy Hollow heads up on tarmac. You be black, but those whose skin is brown. Got their own convenience stores and temples in your town. Got politicians in their back and front pocket. Use nationality to protest so pigs can't stop it. Sorta like they can't stop the prophet. No, not J. Rue, but the prophet Noble Drew. Most say who when that name is called, but no Abraham, Isaac, Cain, and Paul. They know rappers' real names and the b-ball stats. They know cars names and religious holy cats. Claim they know it all. I see their mentals crazy. When I'm on the mic, rappers begging for the fat lady, begging for Jehovah and Slim Shady, begging for no physical but more mental slavery. Brain dead masses under mind control. Brain dead masses have lost their soul. Listening to rappers get continuous airplay. They mind control the masses. That's not hearsay. Brain dead masses are under mind control. Brain dead masses have lost their soul. Listening to rappers get continuous airplay. They mind control the masses. That's not hearsay. Shane Sparks and Mark Houston types got your daughters kissing their friends like entertainment acts. LGTB and the rest of the crazies use rap and R&B to force right your babies. Fam, I used to know to sell crack to scabbies. I'm now legit with businesses, not baby daddies. Codes of the street gone. Everybody's got beef. Youth beef with their mom's friend's son from across the street. Horse riding miles away, they dress muscle fagging. One thing to move with the horse behind the wagon. Bagging, pants sagging. Track with the seven-headed dragon. Looking for things through the more on shadow in position forts. Some sit on the porch, smoking a can. Pioneers of stone. Mind control, brain dead masses have mind control the masses. That's not hearsay. Brain dead masses on your mind control. Brain dead masses have lost their soul. Only has a gun and black with your bloody red eyes from huffing on that green weed. Youths want it fast and don't want to wait. No matter who's hurt by the actions bait. I used to be like y'all with rods and rolls, paying no attention to the sacred scrolls, treating goddess like bitches and some like hoes, shopping like a gold digger for racks of clothes. More shoes than feet, I still have some today. Most I gave to United Way, Nautical Polo, Eddie Bauer denims. It didn't really matter, every night pockets fatter. 2 G's a night didn't save a penny. Got the bar rich, spending dollars on Remy. Not a gunner with the automatic semi. I was a runner, got a call, meet me at the deli. Go get the rock, make a quick chop, and with the next man, leave the grand in the Ziploc. Every time I watch the news, I use the shot. Oh, he has a gun and is running from cops. Black hoodie or black dust. Steve fatigues, bloody red eyes. Every time I watch the news, I use the shot. Oh, he has a gun and is running from cops. Black hoodie or black dusty fatigues, bloody red eyes from puffing on that green weed. The secret of the game is to get out early. Few went to jail, came out and said they heard me. Sitting in a cell charging these batteries, making big state. Made spit on doors, I had no. When I get out, tell the chick he's right. Few months later, he was on a flight. I missed the call and got his message. He said he called to let me know he got the message. Walking on the street called Moore, and he's in Germany, brethren. I know you missed it, so I say it again. He's in Germany, and there's a street called Moore. That's not hearsay, I'm telling you what he saw. And he's supposed to be at risk from the hood, where all they do is bad and nothing good. Every time I watch the news, they use the shot. Oh, he has a gun and is running from cops. Black hoodie or black dusty fatigues, bloody red eyes, bloody red eyes. Every time I watch the news, I use the shot. Oh, he has a gun and is running from cops. Black hoodie or black dusty fatigues, bloody red eyes from puffing on that green weed. Drug deals gone bad, bodies dumped in fields, following some baby Master P type reels. Playing the game, you won't win when you're in. Kush told me, yo, I gotta go in. I caused it on myself, not knowing thyself. Most think know thyself is a book on the shelf. It's fruition, really. Ask Taj Tariq Bey or Grand Sheik Nature L. What's heaven and hell? They probably have you there for 10 hours, using memory notepads with tacky dot powers, talking this in the mind. The matrix of hip hop, cause black dot saved it. Go us, frontin' like you know us. Consciousness in Toronto is called us. 360-degree universal student, mastering self and show the youth man how to do it. Let's do it. Every time I watch the news, I use the shot. Oh, he has a gun and he's running from cops. Black hoodie or black dusty fatigues, bloody red eyes, bloody red eyes. Every time I watch the news, I use the shot. Oh, he has a gun and he's running from cops. Black hoodie or black dusty fatigues, bloody red eyes from puffing on that green weed.